Hello, so today we are filling a problem solving chart. So let me just tell you what the chart actually contains. It has a problem identification where we have to identify a particular problem. Then definition, you have to define the problem that you've identified. And then after that, there is alternative solution. You have to give 4 different types of solutions for that particular one problem. And then for each solution that you've chosen out of the 4, you have to give the potential advantage of the solution, you have to give the potential disadvantage of the solution, and then you have to give the potential consequences of that solution. Finally, out of the 4 solutions that you've given for the problem, you have to pick one best alternative that works for the problem you've identified. And finally, you have to give a reason why you've chosen that particular alternative to be the most suited alternative for that problem. So for my case, I have my problem identification is I have an employee who is frequently reporting late to work. When asked, the employee complains of underpayment, low job satisfaction, feeling overworked, and low staffing. So for my definition of the problem is the employee's frequent tardiness and complaints indicate several underlying gaps, including dissatisfaction with the pay, job satisfaction, complaints of the workload, and the staffing levels. These factors all contribute to the employee's overall job performance and morale. So the first solution is, my first alternative solution is you address the underpayment. The advantage of this solution is that it will improve the satisfaction, job satisfaction of that employee, and the employee will eventually be motivated. But the disadvantage is you will have an increased payroll costs. So you have to figure out where you will get the extra payment, the extra cash that you need to top up for this employee. The potential consequences is everyone will now be coming for the same problem and expecting the same solution. So this has a potential for setting a precedent for other employees to have the same particular problem, even if they don't have the same problem. And then my second alternative solution is you address the job satisfaction initiative. So the potential advantage of this is that you will enhance that particular employee, you will enhance that particular employee morale, and you will be able to retain the employee. But the disadvantage comes in when this may require you to change a lot in the management, or you add other resources which that particular company may not be able to sustain at that particular time. So the consequences of this alternative is you have to improve the overall workplace environment and productivity. This is a huge gap, because how are you going to do this when there is other additional resources that you may require at that particular time? The company may not be able to come up and provide the additional resources needed at that particular moment. When addressing the workload, the third solution I choose is the workload management. So when you address this workload management, the potential advantage will be you will have reduced the stress and burnout for the employee. The disadvantage comes in where you may require hiring additional staff, or you redistribute tasks. If you hire additional staff that you didn't think of you're going to hire at that particular time, that is another additional requirement of resources that maybe the company won't be able to manage at that particular time. Or when you redistribute this task, other people will become overworked compared to this employee that already complained of the workload. The better work-life balance for employees, potentially leading to a quality of work will be improved. Actually, that is our positive consequence. It's not a negative consequences, but it is a positive one. And then staffing levels improvement. That is the fourth alternative solution. Of this, you will have to alleviate the feeling of being overworked with that current employee. You also the disadvantage will come in when you have to increase hiring and training cost, which at that particular moment you may not have. And then positive consequence will be that you will have reduced turnover and improved employee satisfaction. Out of these four solutions, the best solution for me that I think will be a bit workable is solution number 3, that is workload management. You will have reduced the stress and burnout of that particular employee that was complaining. When you distribute this work to employee, I'll go for the distribution of work before hiring. We distribute this work to different employees to maintain that balance so that nobody complains of being overworked and burnout and dissatisfaction. So you redistribute the workload in the meantime, then you strategize in future and start thinking of how many employees do I require to hire? How many employees do I require to train so that all my employees have a workload that they signed up for their job description, so that you maintain that morale, you maintain that retention of your employees. So that is the best alternative solution that I've taken. So addressing the workload directly impacts the feeling of being overworked and can be managed with internal adjustment. The internal adjustment is that you look at a way of redistributing these tasks so that each and every employee in the organization is able to handle amount of tasks that doesn't make them feel overworked and they don't complain of burnout. So this solution can also indirectly improve job satisfaction and potentially reduce the complaints about underpayment if the employees are now feeling like the workload is fair and it is manageable. So this is the best alternative I would have chosen for the problem that I identified before. Thank you.